soon, January time, you're going to be able to book people in the industry through Simply and talk to them, get advice, one-on-one. You can book me, in fact, to ask these questions, so then you can go into work and get the most out of your career. I've been sleeping so much. This is the thing, yeah? When you oversleep, like I've been oversleeping lately, and I look like crap. When I get enough sleep or undersleep, I feel better, look better. Anyway, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today, you're gonna have to bear with me because I've got my breakfast. I've got a coffee and I've got a porridge with blueberry jam. So today I thought I'm just gonna hit record and talk to you. The video title is gonna be something like, if I could go back in time. So basically, look, in January I'm gonna turn 30. Big 30, feels crazy, but I'm not really overwhelmed, or I'm not too fussed about it. 30, whatever it is, it's a good thing, bad thing, however you look at it. And it made me think, you know what, if I could go back in time, and especially a lot of my audience, you guys watching these videos, you know, you're in your late teens, early 20s. So I thought, what would I do differently if I was 16, 17, 18 years old? And so first thing I would do differently is take my studies a bit more seriously. Like recently, every year, or since last year anyway, in December time I start binging all the Harry Potters, and then you get those feels and you look at, you know, Hogwarts and all of that, and it makes you feel like, damn, if you went to Oxford or Cambridge, you'll get that kind of castle, mystical, you know, that special experience that comes with going to a uni like Oxford or Cambridge, and it just feels cool, right? So one of the things I would do differently if I could go back in time is probably take my A-levels a lot more seriously the first time around. So for those of you that don't know, when I did my AS, my first year of A-levels, I kind of just winged it, didn't take it seriously, and I completely messed up. And so I had to retake that year and then get my better grades. However, going back in time, I'd probably take it a lot more seriously first time round. I wouldn't have gone to college because it was just, I don't know, sixth form I think is, you can focus a lot more, you might know the teachers, and it's a lot more of a supportive environment, in my opinion, compared to going to college, where you're out on your own. It's a new environment. So those of you that are in school or in GCSEs and you're thinking about sixth form or college, my recommendation is sixth form. I would have done maths, economics, 1 or 2 sciences, and then another subject such as the social sciences, whether it's psychology or something like that. Focused, done 4 A-levels, tried to get the best grades possible to set me up to kind of get into an Oxford or a Cambridge. Whether I get in or not, you know, that's a different story. But if I could go back in time, I would have done that. And then, you know, to get that uni experience at one of those unis would be sick. And obviously it has that brand value, so then it opens up more opportunities for internships, jobs, etc. Now, that's the A-level entering into uni phase of what I would do differently. But at the same time, obviously, if I go back in time and I look at how things played out, you know, I messed up my A-levels and then I did alright, and then I went to Queen Mary, and my experience at Queen Mary was sick. Like, I wouldn't change a thing. I got all the insight weeks, all the internships, everything that I needed to in order to get my job at Goldman's and then go on to do what I'm doing now. So everything worked out. But this is just hypothetically a different route. If I go back in time, what would be another good option? So if I was at uni, I wouldn't have studied economics, no way. Like, I did econ and finance, right? And in all honesty, 99% of that degree, for me anyway, was a waste of time. Like, you could learn all of it, or like 99% of it, you don't really need it. It didn't even get applied in the real world at work. And the 1% that was important or that is useful, you could just learn it in your own time. Like, so in hindsight, I wouldn't have studied econ and finance. And especially because even if you apply to banking roles, finance, you know, whatever industry you're applying for, you don't really need an econ degree. If you want to get into investment banking, for example, it's probably better to do an accounting degree. If you want to get into trading, it's probably better to do physics or engineering. So in hindsight, I wouldn't have studied economics and finance. I would have studied computer science. Now, the main reason for that is because computer science allows you to, like, I'm one of those individuals that I come up with lots of different ideas. And so if you come up with lots of ideas, but you don't know how to create those ideas into the real world, it's kind of a waste, right? And so that's what computer science lets you do. Having a knowledge of how programming works, how you can create an app, how you can develop a website, All of these things are very useful if you have like an entrepreneurial mindset. And so going back in time, I would have done computer science at uni. I would have still applied to like banking internships because I understand that they're very powerful. To have Goldman's on your CV, JP Morgan on your CV, it sets you up nicely for your next move after you graduate and after you spend a few years in the world of work. But I would have done computer science, 3-4 years, whatever it is. Ideally done a few internships across like banking and finance, as well as technology companies and startups, so I get that variety across my CV. And then, you know, when you spend time in different companies of different sizes, different industries, you get exposed to different people, different opportunities. Your mindset might shift. You get exposed to a different way of thinking. And so it's always important for you, if you're watching this, be open to having your mindset changed through different experiences. What else? So do that, try and get the best grade possible at uni, but not too fussed about getting a first class degree. It's not the be all and end all. Would I have done a master's if I went back in time? Nope. I would have prioritized getting into the world of work. Actually, this is a good point. Given Goldman's recently started their front office trading apprenticeship, would I have gone to university if I could have got a job at Goldman's or any other top bank straight after A-levels? I was always of the mindset, like, I don't want to go to uni, but I know I need to go in order to get a decent job, because they just look for, did you go to uni, did you get a 2-1 and above, in order to get a job at a top bank, for example. Nowadays things are changing, and obviously university isn't cheap, it costs a lot of money. Oh, that's a good question. Would I don't know, it's a tough one. Part of me would go to uni for that computer science degree, but then a part of me would be like, you know what, I could start working for a bank now. I could save my time 3-4 years. I could start earning a salary. I could still get a degree, so the apprenticeship route makes sense. But then part of me would be like, apprenticeship, it doesn't have that strength and recognition yet compared to getting a degree. I don't know, it's a tough one. Definitely check out both if you're in that position, if you don't know what to do. There's pros and cons. End of the day, you need to know what your end goal is, and which will get you there easier, faster, and with less friction, right? So do the degree, get experience, and then graduate. Ideally, like, I would have, going back in time, I would have wanted to graduate the same as I did, in terms of like have a job at Goldman's, because of that brand power. Having that stamp on your CV is very useful, is very powerful. I wouldn't have gone or wanted to go into sales and trading or investment banking specifically, because those areas don't interest me. I don't want to work 20 hours a day in the investment banking division. I'm not about that life. And sales and trading, the markets, I don't know. I wouldn't say like I knew everything about markets. I wasn't like proper in, like, I didn't wake up daily and check the stock market. I wasn't in the markets as much as one might be in order to succeed in sales and trading. So asset management, I think, worked for me. It was good. But wherever I ended up, and in hindsight, you know, wherever I end up, the plan was do a few years, 2 or 3 years, between that 3 to 5 year gap, pause, reassess what I want to do next. Do I want to stay in this industry? If so, need to be in it for the long term, or do I want to step back and do something completely different? Because it's that at that point where you're able to kind of take that career risk. You're in a stable job, pays well, so you can save up, you get your safety net. But at the same time, you're not too late in your career. You're still early on in your career. Your first 5 years, right? Exploration phase. Your career is 30, 40 plus years long. So at that point, 3 to 5 years is a good time to assess what you want to do next. So in hindsight, I would have, you know, nowadays, especially in this day and age with the whole Web3 thing, if you don't know about that, check out Web3, the move from Web 2 to Web3, the whole creator economy, how that's growing. It's going to be $1 trillion industry in the next decade or so. All these things, and these are the things that excite me more than just going and working for an investment bank. Some people say do both, but really and truly, when you're at an investment bank, there's a lot of restrictions. There's a lot of people signing off or disapproving what you're allowed or not allowed to do and say in your own time. So it's easier said than done. So that's why oftentimes you have to choose one or the other. This porridge is good, you know. Oh, so simple porridge. What could I have done differently? Or what could I have done better looking back? I think I could have networked a bit more, but then again, like, I'm quite an introverted person. I don't like, you know, if there's a room full of people, you won't see me going around saying hello to everyone, jumping into different groups, conversating with everyone. I kind of keep to myself. And the disadvantage of that is obviously you don't broaden your network as much as possible. What would I have done differently? Would I have done CFA, so a Chartered Financial Analyst? No way, because I knew I wasn't gonna, like, I remember when in my first and second year, my manager used to be like, you should start thinking about CFA. And I was thinking, I know I'm not gonna be in this industry long. So, and obviously I can't say that to my manager. So doing CFA level 1, like if you do CFA, there's no point, like, it's good to have level 1, it's good to have level 1 and 2, but ideally you want 3 levels because then you can put the letters next to your name, blah, blah, blah. But that takes a lot of commitment. It's around 3 years. And a lot of people fail, right? Because the exams are not easy. Each exam takes 300 hours of study. Now, I'd rather put that 300 hours into things that I care more about, whether it's public speaking engagements, talking to students at universities, building simply, working on myself, doing things outside of work, right? And that's purely because I didn't see myself having a career of spanning decades in the city. If I did, I would have focused on CFA. And that's that. Instead, what I said to my manager, I was thinking of an excuse. And then there was another qualification called Kaya. So if you're interested in alternative asset classes, Kaya is Chartered Alternative Investment Analyst or Associate. Something like that, Kaya. And it's basically, so the CFA covers a broad spectrum of finance, right? And different areas of finance, economics, theory, etc. Kaya, Chartered Alternative Investment Analyst, that focuses on alternative investments, private equity, hedge funds, so on and so forth. So I did that. It's 2 levels and they're a lot shorter than doing CFA. Each one requires, I think, 200 hours of study. Did level 1, passed it. Did level 2, failed it, left it on pause. I thought, all right, I'll do it again, but by then I was gone from the industry. So I wouldn't go and do CFA if I went back in time. My body is somewhat sore because where we at? We're in December. This month, so recently I started taking up running. This is actually important. This is a good point actually. One thing I would have done more in hindsight is when you enter the world of work, I would have watched what I ate and kind of led a more healthier, balanced, nutritionally healthy diet, lifestyle. When you enter the world of work, when like you start working at an investment bank, oftentimes, because you're sat down for most of the day, right? You might get up, go grab lunch, go for coffee, go to client meetings, whatever. But when you're constantly sitting and then, you know, 20 meters, there's a vending machine with Snickers, crisps, all of that. After lunch, you just munch on that. You end up putting on weight. So initially when I was at Goldman's, I was pretty slim. I was in good shape, my shirts, everything, suits fitted well. As time went on, I was putting on weight. And then like getting a bit chubbier, all of that. So in hindsight, I would have tried to be, and I was working out and stuff, but everyone knows working out is only a small part of it. Diet is more important. And so I put on some weight. I wasn't like obese or anything, but I put on weight. And so that's one thing I would have kept at the back of my mind. Like, you know, when you're when you enter the world of work, focus a bit more on your health, fitness, diet, etc. because sitting down all day, you know, can easily make you put on pounds, etc. So in hindsight, I would have worked out a bit more, a lot more healthier. Anyway, that brings me on to what I was gonna say is, so recently, in order to lose weight, I started working out more, going to the gym, eating a bit healthier. Basic, simple equation, burn more calories than you consume, that's it. And so I started running, and then early in December 4th, I decided to do, well, a week earlier, I decided to do a half marathon. So, and by then I could comfortably do a 10K. So a half marathon is 21K. And my mindset was, you know what, I'm gonna do 10K of the half marathon, and if I'm struggling, I'm just gonna walk the rest. Anyway, did it, managed it, it was fine. And then 2 days ago, I did another half marathon. So I'm really getting into this running thing. It's going well, I enjoy it. And also this whole runner's high thing feels good. When you're in the zone, it actually lets you think about work, lets you think about things and make decisions that sometimes you might be stuck sitting on the desk thinking about. So running is good. I'm looking forward to doing more in the new year. But I'll tell you one thing, I think my form is crap. And like I want to get my pace up, but I'm just like at the beginning of this whole journey. So if there's any runners watching this video, let me know your tips in the comments below, because I'd love to know how I can improve my form, increase my speed, all of that. But yeah, next thing, what else would I look back on and change over the last 10 or so years? If I was in your shoes, if I was a graduate, one thing, this is very important, I wouldn't really be too, it goes back to networking, but I wouldn't like hold back as much. Like oftentimes in the world of work, when you enter as a junior employee, you kind of think like you're not entitled to go and talk to people more senior than you. You don't speak up in meetings, you don't contribute as much as you might be able to. And I think that's normal, and a lot of it comes from knowing your stuff. So if you become an expert in your role, in your area, and if I was able to become like a very technically knowledgeable expert in the area I was working in, I would have definitely contributed more and spoken to a lot more people, not just for work, but just more casually, just, you know, networked a bit better. And I think it's always good because like a lot of people in the industry move about, and it's always good to know what people are doing, see if you can help them, if they can help you, vice versa. So it goes back to the whole networking point. And last but not least, one thing I would have done differently if I could go back in time is, after joining the industry, I would have actively explored different opportunities. Because personally, like me, I was the first person in my family to go into banking, etc. Probably first person among my friends group, among anyone that I really knew, like in terms of like friends and family. Obviously there were uni mates and their siblings or friends, etc., who were in banking, but like in my inner close circle, I didn't know anyone in the industry. And so when I was working at Goldman's, I didn't know if I was getting paid, you know, the right amount or above or below the industry average after 1 or 2 or 3 years. And so it's always good to be open to different opportunities when headhunters reach out to you. Talk to different people in the industry, talk to your peers to find out, you know, how much people are getting paid. To make sure that you're going to your manager with the right conversation at the end of the year saying, oh, this company is paying someone in my position this much, so I think I deserve, and this is the work that I've been doing, I deserve to be paid XYZ. So that's something I could have done more of. And also I think like when you come from like my mindset initially was like, oh, I'm at Goldman's, I should be grateful I'm here. I'm in a very privileged position, I shouldn't take it for granted. But the truth is, you need to own that shit. You're there because you put in the work. You deserve to be there. Regardless of your background, you deserve to be paid. You know, if you're putting in the work, what everyone else, if not more, than what everyone else is being paid. So don't sell yourself short. That's what I would say. Like, yeah, like look, I put out these videos for the young Afzal watching, who's 10 years behind me, who hasn't got anyone to talk to. So I'm talking to you directly. Like, yeah, you deserve to, like, whatever opportunities you get, don't sell yourself short. Don't think, oh, because you come from a low income household, or because no one in your family went to this industry, or because you're the first to get into uni, that you don't deserve to be there. Do your research. Soon, January time, you're going to be able to book people in the industry through Simply and talk to them, get advice, one-on-one. You can book me, in fact, to ask these questions, so then you can go into work and get the most out of your career, because a lot of companies will bump you without you knowing it. So it's important for you to be aware of that. Anyway, this was just a quick, I say. It was a long, rambly video, but hopefully it was informal. Hopefully it's like a little chit chat. Hopefully you learned, or you can take something from this video. If I don't put out another video tomorrow, this will be the last video of the year. And I just want to say, look, 2021 has been a sick year. Looking forward to 2022. Looking forward to grow the YouTube channel. We didn't get to 100k. I think we're like 2k short of 100k subs, but big deal, doesn't matter. Looking forward to getting there in 2022. Looking forward to changing up my content in the next year. I want to make it more interesting, more exciting, and just more enjoyable for you, the viewer, to watch. Looking forward to launching Simply. Been working on it for so long, and you know, the main thing with Simply is impact. I just want to grow the number of users. I want to grow the number. I want to impact hundreds of thousands of young people where you know, the industry, the deck is stacked against them. So you know, I want to help level the playing field of work and careers. And I want to really get into like the whole running thing. I'm thinking about doing another triathlon, but I'll see. Just need to be consistent and train. But yeah, if I don't see you again in this 2021, have an amazing New Year's. Stay safe. COVID cases are on the rise, so make sure you wear a mask if you're going out. Take the vaccine, don't take it, do what you want, but just be safe. Think about the people around you. Have a good New Year. This is a long-winded goodbye. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I hope this mic, last time I recorded, yeah, the sound wasn't on. So I hope it has recorded everything, because this was a long recording. Peace.